G'day fellas! A couple of videos ago I introduced you to the Lieutenants of the Gamma Resistance, our gym leader stand-ins. In said video I stated that they are at war with the current rulers of Agnos, the Bravo Federation. And this federation are the focus of this video. I guess you could consider them the substitutes for the evil team every game has, but I've changed up the system. Depending on which version of Agnos you purchase, Pokemon Brains or Brawn, you'll be fighting for either side of this war. So this evil team acts as another set of quote-unquote gym leaders, this time based off of the Greek Titans. Most of the things I said about the Gamma Resistance Lieutenants can also be applied to the Bravo Federation, so I'm not gonna bother re-explaining crap. But here's another tidbit of information exclusive to them. Somehow, they have all achieved immortality through some means, so they may have inhuman characteristics. Before we start, please subscribe. I've put in a lot of effort into this project and subbing helps a whole lot. Let's begin. In the events of Pokemon Brawn after fleeing from Tutorstead, instead of making your way to Outlook Point, you end up at the lower half of the battlefield, the ruined battlefield. You make your way here after seeing and following an Absol. This battlefield has been used in war for centuries, littered with dead bodies and decay. It is here you find our first lieutenants of the Bravo Federation, Festa. Festa is based off of the Titan of doomed might and rash violence, Menoetius, from the second generation of Titans, and his name derives from the word Festa, which means of a negative feeling of a problem, becoming worse or more intense, especially through long-term neglect or indifference. It also pulls from Uncle Festa from the Addams family because, bro, he creepy as fuck. His design is literally just the Doomslayer, but ancient Greek because he's the Titan of Doom. Though clearly his armor is based off of Guzzlord, showing that he's a glutton for violence. And when you defeat him, you will loot his rash badge. Before fighting him, you will play red light, green light as you try to sneak up on enemies, crawling forward along the ground and hiding amongst the dead bodies when trainers turn around. In the initial encounter, his team consists of an Absol and Ratot, but on a rematch, his full team is made up of the same Absol, a Trudskull, Salamence, Primeape, Charizard, and Guzzlord. As the Federation has been in power for so long, they don't really feel the need to have specific jobs. They just do whatever the fuck they want. Festa just wanders around with his army and fights in battle after battle. You move to the next location of the Federation Lieutenants, only to find that this area is plagued with a thick fog that large bird Pokemon take advantage of, so you avoid the location for the time being. Instead, you find yourself at Dire Woods, a massive redwood forest filled with wild Pokemon. Roaming around on all fours like a wild animal is the Lieutenant Conan, named after Conan the Barbarian. He is based off of the second generation Titan, Epithemius, the guy that made animals. So that's why his design is so wild and animalistic. At first he fights against you with a Lillipup in Persian. On a rematch however, he battles with a Miaz Swine, Persian, Lycanroc Dusk, Rattach, Dugong, and Farfetch'd. And when he's beaten, you take his Feral badge. Oh, and for the challenge, it'll be a giant maze through all of Dire Woods, with multiple areas that look exactly the same, just to make it extra fucking annoying and mimic the sense of feeling lost. He has spent so long in the wilds with wild Pokemon that his mind has decayed to a point where he's pretty much a wild creature, giving up his humanity for eternal life. Next up is Mason, based off of Atlas, the Titan that was punished to hold up the sky. He resides in Cragworth Valley, a rocky valley in which every sound can be heard reverberating throughout it. The name Mason is an occupation in which they use bricks, concrete and concrete blocks, and natural and man-made stones to build walkways, walls and other structures. His team is made up of a Dwebble, a Alolan Graveler, and Crustle. On a rematch, a Crustle, Alolan Golem, Torterra, Conkeldurr, Magcargo, and Mothim. The badge he possesses is the Atlas badge. He spends most of his time training for Cragworth Valley's top spawn, in which individuals carry large rock-type Pokemon above their head. You would participate in this event for the challenge before the battle, and the award for the competition is a key item, the Mortal Flame. Using this Mortal Flame, you can traverse the thick fog at Fogwing Mountain and find the next lieutenant, based off of the last of the second generation Titans, Prometheus, Titan of Mankind. Prometheus was known for stealing and giving fire to man so that they could survive, and as such, Zeus had punished him by chaining him up to a mountain and having the Caucasian eagle eat his ever-regenerating liver. This lieutenant also has organs that always regenerate, keeping him immortal. Guy is his name, and that's because, well, mankind. Guy. And for decades, he has been trapped at the top of Fogwing Mountain. He battles with 2 Solar King and a Solar Kid. On a rematch, his team consists of Solar Kid, Hariyama, Solar King, Bisharp, Putrepie, and Jinx. The badge you claim from him is the Golem badge. And just like Cinnamon from the Gamma Resistance, the roadblock itself is the challenge. Now, moving on to the first generation Titans. This next guy is based off of Mnemosyne, the Titan of Memory. Sora is a flying type trainer because she spends her time flying around with her Pokémon, which helps her forget about her problems. Because all she can remember are her negative thoughts, she gave up her happy memories for eternal life. And she has the Tablet badge because ancient tablets are what held the memories, history, of the past. On her team, she has a Sigilif, Pegasaur, and Pidove. On the rematch, Mishana, Aerodactyl, Unpheasant, Sigilif, Vikavolt, and Weezing. She spends her time at Triplane Canyon, jumping off of the high cliffs and gliding/flying around with her Pokemon. This is also the challenge before the fight. You have to chase her down mid-air. Also, her name just comes from the word Saw. Sork on this fat cock. In the Alps behind Snowdale Village, Cole, our next Bravo Federation lieutenant, roams. His name derives from the word cold, as well as coal, because coal is what keeps you warm during the winter. The Titan he is based off of is Cryus, Titan of Heavenly Constellations, and Pillar of the South Pole. He battles against you with an Aurorus, Amora, Cryolona, and Glaceon. After this, you can relieve him of the Beacon badge. And if you challenge him again, he will fight with Cryolona, Abomasnow, Empoleon, Archaic Kingler, Archaic Whimsicott, and Drapion. He has spent so long in the cold that his body has turned blue, which also pulls inspiration from the White Walkers of Game of Thrones. And also the idea of preserving your body in ice to, live forever, yada yada. And for the challenge, before you find Cole, you'll encounter a totem Pokemon Empoleon and race it down an icy slide. It is quite literally the big penguin race from Mario 64, but with an Empoleon, skips and everything included. Next up is Justine, the ex-leader of Lorchester City, in which she was democratically removed. She is based off of the Titan of Justice, hence the name Justine. As you can see from her design, she is blind because justice is blind, and also because she sacrificed her eyes for eternal life. The challenge before battling her will be a big murder mystery side quest in which you'll have to go through a Danganronpa style class trial. But after winning, you fight a team of 2 Equilibra, a Lucario and Riolu. Her rematch team consists of an Equilibra, Corviknight, whatever Simi is weak against your starter, a male Pyroar, Escavalier, and Sirfetch'd. Her badge is the Scale badge. And the last lieutenant of the Bravo Federation is Damien, based off of Iapetus, the Titan of Mortality. He's been alive for so long that his skin has decayed and gone purple. Purple Guy! And speaking of Purple Guy, Five Nights at Freddy's is where the inspiration for his challenge comes from. In the tower at Cryptwick City, a giant glorified cemetery. Before reaching the top, you'll end up playing Fun with Plushtrap with a ghost, like the one from Lavender Town's Ghost Tower. His team is made up of Arunaregus, Drifloom, Archaic Lopunny, Cofagrigus, and Frostlass. And his rematch team is made up of Arunaregus, Frostlass, Archaic Lopunny, Alakazam, Cofagrigus, and Parasect. His name is Damien, because it's considered to be a ghostly name nowadays, and sounds a bit like demon. Also, he has the Mortality badge. And once again, that's it for this video. Another on the leaders of the Bravo Federation will drop shortly, so get ready for that. Please subscribe if you dig the content, and I'll catch you fellas around.